Hi, Learn STEM. I'm Melania, and today I'm going to be doing kind of a fun video. You're going to be coding with me, and I'm going to be showing you the basics of how to code in Java. So we'll be learning how to print, how to receive and use user input, and then we're also going to learn how to put this all into a method. So yeah, let's just get started. A little disclaimer is that I'm not the best at coding, but I'm just going to be applying what I've learned from CompSci and showing you how to code something that might be fun and that you can do. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is download either Eclipse, which is what I have running right now, or if you go online, you can just find a web browser to be able to code in. If you look it up, I'm sure you'll be able to find some online Java-based web browsing coding service. So I might even link one down below actually to allow you to code. But yeah, and if you're watching this on YouTube, then hi. And if you're not, um, I would recommend definitely turning on your video somehow so you can be able to see what's going on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my little SRC and I'm going to make a new package. And I'm just going to call this, oh wait, actually, sorry, not a package. We're going to, let's go here. Okay, so when you click on this SRC, okay, you're going to want to click new. And this is if you're in Eclipse. Then we're going to go to package. I want to show you that so it makes sense. And we're just going to call this whatever we want. Let's call this Learn STEM episode. And then you're going to click finish. So now that you have your Learn STEM episode package, you're going to do the exact same thing. So double click and you're going to go to new and you're going to get a new class. So this class, we're just going to call basic tutorial. And then you're going to add this little checkbox that says public static void. So the first thing that we're going to learn once you have your class open is what is this public static void main? Basically, this is the main method or where all of your code is going to go into for now. You can code outside of this, but you're going to have to make another method for that. So right now, anything that you ever want to code, you should put into this method um, at this very basic level. So I'm going to first teach you how to print something. So to print, you're going to do capital system dot out dot print. And then you're going to do brackets and excuse the folds, it just comes up. Then you're going to do like quotations, and whatever's inside the quotations will be printed. So if I write hello, that will be printed, and you're going to follow that by a semicolon. When you type semicolon at the end of whatever you're typing, that tells the computer that you're done with that line of code and that it's okay for them or okay for the computer to iterate it. So if I go and run this code on the console, it's going to print hello. So you can see right there, it says hello. So we're going to take this printing system and kind of use it. And I do want to show you there's multiple different types of prints. So this one, it just says systems.out.print. If I were to print again, watch what happens if I just copy that and print again. It goes hello, hello. Now, I wanted to write hello and then put another hello at the end or like right underneath it, but it didn't work. And the reason for that is because we have just a normal print statement which continues through the line. If you want to start a new line, then you do system.out.print ln for line. So if I do that, then we're going to have what we wanted, which is hello, and then on a new line, hello. So I like using the LNs, but you don't have to. There's more different types of, like there's other types of print statements, such as F print statements, which allow you to use like decimals and spacing. But for now, we're just going to use the print and then the print line. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little follow blah, blah, blah on blah, blah, blah. And for example, it'll say like follow Learn STEM on Spotify or something like that. And we're going to receive user input to be able to get this. So when right under this public class basic tutorial, we're going to import java.util.capital_scanner and then finish it with, oh wait, sorry, not under the public class, under the package. You're going to click enter, and basically that is going to call from somewhere in the Java world. It's going to call a scanner, and now we can make a scanner. And a scanner basically scans what a user has typed and allows you to turn that into a variable, like such as a word or a number. So we're going to create this scanner inside of this main method. So we're going to do capital scanner, and then you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to do scan. You could call it like user input. You can call it like read or keyboard, whatever you want. But scanner scan equals new, and then capital scanner again. And then you're going to do in parentheses system.in. And what this does is it makes a scanner now inside of this method, and you have to do it in every method that you ever make. But inside of this section that the Java computer will read, it's going to create like it allows the user to type an input that can be used in the method. So I'm going to get rid of this second print statement, and we're going to actually let's get rid of both. So let's just start with a scanner, and let's ask the user, like, I don't know what input they want for their follow sign. So we can say, hello, what username would you like people to follow? And then a question mark. So now we opened our scanner, we did a system.out.println line so that we can have on a new line people can type stuff. And then inside of that print statement, we have the computer say, hello, what username would you like people to follow? Now, what we need to do if we ask them a question is let them give us an answer. So you're going to create a variable, and a variable is basically like X, right? You can call it something and then make it equal to something. But when you do this, you have to specify what variable it is. So if it's a word, we call that a string. If it's a number, if it's just a number with no decimals, we call that an integer. If it's a number with decimals at the end, we call it a double. And then there's also Booleans, which are true or false statements. And there's floating points. There's tons of different types. But we're just going to go with string. So do capital STRING, which is string, and that's going to mean a word. So we're going to make a word, and we're going to call this variable that's a word username. And we're going to make it equal to the user's input. So let's get the user's input, and the way to do this is we're going to call this object name, not the scanner, but the scan part. I'm going to do scan, and when you click the dot button, it's going to come up with a ton of things that you can do. It's just like endless possibilities that you can do, but we're going to go with next capital line, and then you're going to do parentheses. And you're probably like, what the actual heck, like, what is she talking about? I'm going to walk you through this right now. So starting from the top, we made a scanner, okay? Like we imported the scanner at the very top, but we made a scanner that allows us to get user input in this. Then we did a system.out.println, which means a print statement that will have a line or an empty line at the end because it won't continue. And inside of that print statement, we're printing in the computer, hello, what username would you like people to follow? After that, it's a new line because we have the line statement, and we are going to receive this scan.next line. This opens up a scanner. This allows people to type. So this scan.next line means it's your turn to type. And whatever they type, which is the scan.next line, is going to be stored in this username variable. And this username variable is a word, which means that we make it a string. You could do int username equals whatever, but that means that the username would have to be like 1, 2, 3, and that's it. So that's why we went with string. So I'm gonna show you, well, we're gonna keep going and then we're gonna run this at the end. But now that we have the username, let's ask them another question first. And let's say, what platform would they like to follow? So we're gonna go assist system.out dot print line, and we're gonna say, great, what platform would you like people to follow on? So we asked, what platform would you like people to follow on? And then we did a line. And honestly, if I'm looking at this right now, I'm going to notice that there's going to be an error because we're going to print. So the first one, hello, what username would you like people to follow? That's one line, right? Here, I'm going to show you actually. If you look at my screen, I'm going to make a comment, which is like uncode. It's like not code. It's just words that you can type. So it's going to say, hello, what username, and blah, 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 right? Then it's going to let you type. Oh, then it's going to let you type words, but then there's no line after that. So it's going to say great. And then it's going to keep going. So we actually need to add a blank print statement that is right below the line that they're reading so that it solves that error. And again, if you're really confused, we're going to go over this over and over. But now we ask them what platform would they like to follow on. So we're going to now make another string, because it's a word, string, and let's call it platform. Come call it whatever, platform equals, and then again, scan dot next line. I probably also should have done something like a number so we could see a different thing besides strings. You know what? Why don't we do that? Let's say like follow us for 1,000 Robux or something. So now that we have this, remember, we're going to add a empty statement at the end, just so that there's, oh crap, just so that it doesn't go over. And then let's this out. So we're going to ask them, just so that we have a number so I can show you. Let's say, okay, how many Robux should they receive for the follow? Okay, so now we ask them how many Robux should they get for following, and we're going to allow them to type in a number. So instead of a string, we're going to do int, and string is capital, but int is not. That's kind of a little bit more complex, so you just have to remember that for now. But int Robux is what we can call it. Int Robux equals scan dot next, and this time we do int. We don't do line, and then that's it. So let's walk you all the way through again. We're just taking step by step. We started by opening our scanner, then we print the statement, what username would you like people to follow? We made a string username variable, and I do want to tell you that you can't like call a variable with a space in between. So if I tried to do user space name, it wouldn't work. You got to do one, even though that's one word, like I'm just saying. So we did a string username variable, or a word variable, that receives the scan.next line, which is the user input for a string. Then we printed a line to stop that, and then we did another, and it says, great, what platform would you like people to follow on? And then we made a string platform where people can enter their input. Then we made a new line, and we finally made another print statement that says, okay, how many Robux should they receive for the follow? Then we made an integer variable called Robux, and that's equal to a scan.next int, because scan.next line receives like alphabetical user input. Scan.next int can receive only numeral inputs that don't have decimals. So now that we have this, right? So we have this entire thing that asks for, here I can make a comment. This asks for user input. And if you're wondering what a comment is, the code or the computer doesn't read this, so you can type and make notes on it. And to do that, you just do 2 slash lines. But now we're going to combine this all, and print it out. So we're going to combine it all and make it into this one long statement. So we're going to do system.out .println, and we're going to call it, or let's say, what we want them to say. Like basically we're going to take all of the user input that we've received and put it into one sentence, and it can be used in so many different ways. So we're going to say follow, right? Then how do I write this actually? So you're gonna combine, you need to basically build a sentence with print statements or words that are like, it's like a Mad Libs. So you're gonna put words that you already have default no matter what, and then the little Mad Lib part that the user inputs, you're gonna insert in that. So we're gonna say that the original is gonna say like follow blank on blank, right? Because blank, the first blank is the username, on blank, which is the platform, for blank or the number of Robux. So we're going to say follow. Then you're going to do a space, obviously, because there's a space in between words. You're going to go outside of this quote and you're going to add a plus. And it's basically like just combining one sentence. So you're going to do follow, then a plus, and then the username, and then another plus. Then you're going to do a space before you start typing again. Do an on, then you do a space, and then you're going to do the platform. And hopefully you kind of get the gist. I'll stop here for a second so you can see. What did I spell wrong? Follow on. Hold on. Okay. First, let me show you. So it's saying follow, and then if you didn't have a space, it would just put it right away together, the username. So you're going to do follow space, then the username, which is a string, plus, and then a space on, and then you keep going word by word, which has spaces in between, obviously. And then we're going to say on the platform, then for, and then the number of Robux, which is it's just called Robux. And then we're going to say Robux. So basically, like, let's say my username, and you can just think about it in your head. Let's say my username was like Learn STEM, platform was Spotify, Robux was 100. Follow Learn STEM on Spotify for 100 Robux. And just remember that it doesn't automatically do spaces, so it's kind of simple. So let's run this and let's see what happens. I think we forgot a print line statement after the Robux, so I think I should fix that actually, but let's run this first and then we can fix it. So it says, hello, what username would you like people to follow? And I'm going to do Learn STEM. Great. What platform would you like people to follow on? Let's say Spotify. Okay, how many Robux should they receive for the follow? Let's say 200. Follow Learn STEM on Spotify for 200 Robux. So yeah, let me add another I'm gonna add another print statement under the Robux. Oops, not that one. Under them receiving Robux, because I want it to be spaced out so it doesn't look all cluttered. And as you can see, it builds the sentence like we needed it to. So we can do it for anything. So let's do another one just so you don't think we're crazy. So what username would you like people to follow? We can do my Roblox username, Atomic. Here, I'll even use Atomic Fart _09. And I know I said strings are for alphabetical, but when I say like int is numbers that are stored as numbers and can be added, subtracted like they're actual numbers, while strings, like they can take special characters and they can take numbers, but they can't actually do anything with them. It's kind of just like there. It's just like this is the number. So Atomic Fart 09 is going to be my username. Then great, what platform would you like people to follow on? I'm going to have them follow on Roblox. And how many Robux should they receive? They're going to receive 1,000. Follow Atomic Fart on Roblox for 1,000 Robux. So that is our little method, as you would say, for just printing out a statement. And I did want to show you guys one more thing. This might be a little bit hard, but if you've followed me so far, then we're gonna do something called a method. So we've been printing in this main method, but it can get pretty cluttered. So what you could do is you can actually code outside of this main method, and you can create like almost like a separate method that is going to take any input, and no matter what it is, it's just going to put it into that and then put it back out into the main method. It's confusing, but basically we're going to take all this code and move it outside of the main method so it's less cluttered. So we're going to do public static, and we can do void. Public static void. Actually, I want to do public static string. Void only prints, but a string can like do whatever. So because it's a string that we're returning, let's just call it a string. So public static string, and let's call this method follow sentence. Okay. And then you're going to do parentheses after the name and then brackets. So this needs a return statement of string. So we'll return that at the end. But let's just copy this and literally paste it into here. So we copied and pasted this into here, okay? And instead of, you know what, I'm just gonna do a void method because it's a little bit easier. So void, okay. So now that we have a void method, it's basically, we can delete all this top code and we can literally just, you can see our main method is really empty now. So all we have to do is just call the follow sentence method in the main method and it'll do the same thing. So even though the code's still there, it's like somewhere else, we're tucking it away. So if I'm just like, hey, let me just look at my main method and I go follow sentence, and then I put some parentheses after it, I can just run it and the same thing's gonna happen. Hello, what username would you like people to follow? And then like Melania on Instagram for 1,082 Robux. So yeah, it basically just does that. And you can even make like, you can like move the variables inside of here into here so that you can like type the variables here, but that it gets a little bit complicated, so we're not going to do that right now. That can be for another episode. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this very, very basic tutorial on Java, even though it's really confusing. I had like such a hard time figuring out Java, but like it gets simpler, I guess, is what I can say. Like when I look at this now, I'm like, wow, this is easy, but it's really hard to explain, like really hard. But yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.